This video contains spoilers from the world and story of Subnautica Below Zero. Please beware. Well, good evening everybody, and welcome back to... wait a minute. Subnautica Below Zero? This is still a thing? Okay, that's just a bit of a joke, of course, implying that the last update came out quite a while ago. But luckily, today I am here with a new update on the official Subnautica website called Relics of the Past. Yes, that's right, Subnautica Below Zero is finally getting some more official stuff. What is it, you ask? Well, that is an excellent question. Let me tell you. Now, as always, between updates, Subnautica has been receiving a steady trickle of new content, and if you follow other Subnautica YouTubers, I'm sure you've noticed this, whether that be the implementation of the void chalice writ, more voice lines being added, more sculptures being added, whatever you will, it usually trickles in. But in this one, we're pretty much just getting a bigger chunk of it, presumably moved from the experimental version to the main version of the game, so even if you don't want to play the experimental build, you should still be able to experience these pretty soon. So let's take it from the top. The storyline is there, all of it. Well, kinda. If you actually look at the end of the video of the update, it says final storyline, but if you read the website article, it says almost in brackets, so obviously things are still missing, and that's completely fine, but presumably we are getting very close to it being completed. More on that later. Nevertheless, as it stands right now, there is a lot more to learn about the story, all the way from finally properly voice acted PDAs, to more polish in the bases, to more details and relics that you can find. Basically, give or take, you can now traverse through most of the game the way it will be in final release, but of course, as they suggest, you should start a new game before trying so. Hand in hand with that also comes more polish to the precursor caches. As I already mentioned before, you can find a few more artifacts inside, a few more details, which I am sure will link to the story in a very interesting way, and I'm sure there's a lot of lore to be found there in the future. But if you've already been following Below Zero for quite some time, most of the big story beats related to precursors are still just about the same. Now, there are a few additional smaller changes. The void chalice writ has of course been added, and now it even has a new animation, which is... it's really freaky. I don't know how I feel about it. Still don't know if this is the best choice for a void creature. But you know what, it definitely looks cooler now with these animations, so I'll take it. Robin as a protagonist is again properly voice acted finally, and on that note she talks like a lot, like constantly, and for some reason her model has also been updated. This is an interesting one for me because it's not like you really spend that much time looking at it in the game, especially the head portion, but hey, the dive suit is undeniably nice. On a bit more utility driven side, beacons now finally have a purpose, as dying with one in your inventory will make it so that your death location is actually marked, and you can therefore reclaim some of the items that you've lost upon death. Additionally, there is now also a feature, an interesting one, that allows you to have the game be paused whenever you open the PDA. So if you're really somebody who just likes to take your time in the PDA and you get distracted by the world still moving around you, this is definitely a good one to enable. Finally, more polish has been added to some of the areas in the game, specifically that would be the glacial basin and the landing area, and of course a lot of these touch-ups are relatively small, but all in all, they definitely do make a very good picture. I saw these pictures on Twitter with how these areas used to look back in the day versus how they look like now, and I gotta tell you, it's definitely a big difference. Now that is effectively it. I'm not gonna get too much into this story because, once again, that is something I want to cover on the channel once the game is fully released. However, there is something about it that I want to touch on before we end this off, and that is the player feedback that has been coming onto the website, and especially in the discussion section below the update, where some people seem to share the consensus that the game is turning into much more of an action-adventure game as opposed to the original Subnautica, mainly because of what the main plot points of the storyline are. Some people are worried, some people welcome the change. It's very different, and I would love to hear your guys' opinion in the comments. But to kind of give my 2 cents on it, I think it is kind of inevitable. Honestly, I am happy that to a certain extent they're not just trying to replicate the first Subnautica with a snowy aesthetic. I think that would be a pretty big waste. I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool, I'm just saying this is definitely an opportunity for them to explore new horizons to an extent, and I love the fact that they are trying to go a bit more hands-on with the story. Now, does the game still have some deficiencies? Absolutely. But again, I'm trying not to be too harsh in those before the game is officially out, because I feel like that is when we are at a good position to actually give it full judgment. But anyways, that is everything for the Relics of the Past update. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you feel a bit more caught up on the progress and updates with Subnautica Below Zero. If you like this video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. And hey, while you're at it, follow me on Twitter. I've been trying to post a lot more recently, so it can be really fun if you want to engage more with the channel or with me personally. But with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.